the most important thing that I experience and the things that I've learned with all of this is that how I feel is absolutely 100% my responsibility. And it has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on outside of my head. And so when I realized that, I knew that I had to do something different. I had to change something in order to be able to take control over my feelings. And so one of the things that I had to look at was, well, what's going through my head on a daily basis? I think that psychologists have figured out that we have roughly 64,000 thoughts a day. And just for one of the exercises that life coaches and which I'll get to in a second, but is to journal what kind of thoughts that you're having at any given moment. And if you're able to record them all, what most people experience is that it's like a butterfly. Your mind is like a butterfly. You'll be sitting there thinking about the drive to work, what you're going to wear, the way your parents talked to you when you were 6 years old, what that guy said to you yesterday in the Subway store. You know, it's like bing, 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 bing. And it's just totally random. And is it any wonder that we are so scattered? Because we have all of these thoughts, and many of them we're not even aware of. If you know, 64,000 thoughts is I don't know how many hundred of a second. And so we're having and experiencing these thoughts on like a machine gun going through our heads. And we feel lost. We feel isolated. We feel alone because we don't know what's happening to us. All of a sudden we're driving along, singing a song, having a great time, and boom, a thought goes through our head and we're all depressed. And so what is all that about? And what it's all about is that we're basically untrained. We never learned growing up how to use this tool that we call our mind. Somebody's come up with a calculation that if all we need is about 22% of our ego, and in order to navigate through the day, in order to have that big job, to have a successful career, to be able to live a happy life, all we need is about that much of our ego. Instead of this big full-blown thing that tells us we're wrong, we're right, we're happy, we're sad, that's good, this is bad, all of those judgments that we make constantly all through the day. And so what happens is that we have an uncontrolled mind. There's a lot of people out there now offering to help us be better people, have better jobs, be happier, have more stuff, and they're called life coaches. And what these life coaches do is they sit you down and they make you write down everything that's important, and then they help you get what it is that you think is important. And they help focus your mind on these things. Again, the problem with that kind of thinking is that you don't have what you need or want, and you're a victim. Because somehow by getting organized and being focused, you're going to become that person that you want to be. Well, that all feeds back into this victim consciousness idea that you're not perfect just the way you are. And if one of the greatest teachings that I've ever received is that for right now, right here, in this moment, I'm as perfect as I'm going to be. And what that means is it doesn't mean that I may not walk out in front of a bus in half an hour. It doesn't mean that I might not hurt somebody's feelings because I wasn't fully conscious when I say something. It doesn't mean that I've had a fault-free life. That just means right now, right here, I'm doing the best I can. And that's all that life asks of us, is to do the best we can. Now, how people perceive that is really none of our business, but we have been trained to be happy or sad based on how other people react to us. I think psychologists call this codependence. And what happens is that, again, we could be feeling pretty good, having a good day, and somebody calls us up and says, "You really pissed me off." And boom, there goes the happiness. Because you're all concerned, I'm all concerned, that that person is unhappy. And all of a sudden, I think I'm responsible for making that person unhappy. And that's totally upside down. When somebody is unhappy, what they're telling you is they need your love. That's all. When somebody calls you up and starts reading the riot act to you and telling you all the things you've done wrong and how you screwed up, they're saying, their message is, I need your love. I'm scared, I'm afraid, something's wrong with my life, and I need your love. So if we're really conscious, if we really understand the way the world works, we just say, I love you. And if you really want to see somebody get absolutely confused, when your worst nightmares on the telephone are in your face, just say, I love you. And that'll shut them up. It's magic.